While I know that you do not believe in ghosts, but I have been unfortunate enough to have lived 77 years on this planet, with an ability to attract negative energies, spirits, black magic and other ghastly experiences during my travel across the globe. Hey, my name is Joby. Join me as I read the paranormal experiences that I diarized over the years with the help of my grandson on YouTube. Where do I start? Scary story on black magic in a faraway land. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled deep within a dense forest, there lived an old woman named Veronica. She was known by the villagers as a mysterious and reclusive figure, rumored to possess dark and powerful knowledge of black magic. One moonlit night, when the waves of the sea heaved to the moon, a group of curious young villagers decided to venture into the heart of the forest, determined to uncover the truth about Veronica's alleged powers. They followed an overgrown path that led them to an eerie, dilapidated cottage where Veronica resided. As they approached the cottage, a chilling gust of wind whispered through the trees, sending shivers down their spines. They hesitated, but their curiosity overwhelmed their fear, and they cautiously entered the dwelling. Inside, the air was thick with an otherworldly presence. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows on the walls, and the sound of creaking floorboards echoed through the room. The group stumbled upon a dusty, leather-bound book, filled with cryptic symbols and ancient incantations. Unable to resist the temptation, one of the villagers picked up the book and began to read aloud from its pages. They chanted the incantations, unaware of the dark forces they were summoning. Suddenly, the room grew icy cold, and the candles extinguished, leaving the group in complete darkness. Whispers filled the air, growing louder and more menacing with each passing moment. Terrified, the villagers realized they had awakened something far more sinister than they had ever anticipated. As their eyes adjusted to the darkness, they caught a glimpse of Veronica, her eyes glowing with an eerie red light. She spoke in a voice that seemed to come from the depths of the underworld, warning them of the dire consequences of meddling with the forces beyond their comprehension. But it was too late. The room was consumed by a malevolent energy, and the villagers found themselves trapped in a nightmarish realm. Shadows twisted and contorted, taking on grotesque forms that danced around them, tormenting their every step. Desperate to escape, the villagers pleaded with Veronica for mercy. She revealed that the only way to break free from this cursed dimension was to sacrifice a life to the darkness that they had awakened. Horrified by the choice they were faced with, they realized the gravity of their actions. In the end, one of the villagers, driven by fear and desperation, offered to sacrifice themselves to save the rest. With a heavy heart, they met their untimely demise, and in that sacrifice, the villagers were released from the clutches of the black magic they had foolishly unleashed. From that day on, the villagers lived in fear, haunted by the memory of their encounter with Veronica and the consequences of their curiosity. They learned the hard way that certain forces are best left undisturbed. And so, the tale of Veronica and her black magic serves as a chilling reminder to all non-believers that the supernatural world exists, lurking in the shadows, waiting for those bold enough to challenge its power. I wish they paid heed to my warnings. I was only a young boy back then. A boy who was cursed to see jinns, ghosts and spirits. A boy who could identify negative forces, witches and ghouls. I hope you believe in these forces now. Would you want to wait for a demonic possession story as well? I remember one about Jade. This one is from my time as a young chap, and when I used to see dead people and knew Jade. I sometimes remember her, thinking what if we did not have these paranormal entities in our lives. In a small, quiet town nestled in the countryside, there lived a young woman named Jade. She was known for her kind heart and gentle nature, but little did she know that a malevolent force was silently lurking, waiting for the perfect opportunity to seize control. One fateful day, as Jade was exploring an old, abandoned mansion on the outskirts of town, she stumbled upon a hidden room deep within its decaying walls. Inside, she discovered a peculiar, ancient artifact, a weathered, ornate box adorned with cryptic symbols. Unaware of the dark power it held, Jade couldn't resist the temptation to open the box. As she lifted the lid, a sinister energy filled the room, and a chilling wind swept through her body. Unbeknownst to her, she had unwittingly unleashed a demonic presence. From that moment forward, Jade's life took a dark and twisted turn. She began experiencing strange occurrences, objects moving on their own, whispers in the dead of night, and a growing feeling of unease that permeated her every waking moment. As days turned into nights, Jade's behavior became increasingly erratic. Friends and family noticed a drastic change in her demeanor. Her once bright eyes now held a vacant, hollow gaze, and her voice took on an unearthly tone, filled with malice and hatred. Terrifying nightmares plagued Jade's sleep, tormenting her with visions of grotesque creatures and unspeakable horrors. She would wake up drenched in sweat, feeling as if she were being watched by an unseen presence, lurking just beyond the veil of reality. Desperate for answers, Jade sought the help of a renowned exorcist. The exorcist delved into the depths of her soul, only to discover that a powerful demon had taken hold of her. The battle for her very essence had begun. Days turned into weeks as the exorcist fought to free Jade from the clutches of the malevolent entity. The demon, however, was relentless, taunting the exorcist with its twisted laughter and vile threats. It reveled in the suffering it inflicted upon both Jade and those around her. The exorcism reached its climactic moment, as the exorcist confronted the demon head-on. The room filled with an eerie silence as the exorcist chanted ancient prayers, wielding holy symbols and blessed artifacts against the malevolent force. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the demon let out a blood-curdling scream, its hold on Jade weakening. With one final surge of energy, the exorcist banished the demon back to the depths of the underworld, freeing Jade from its clutches. Exhausted and scarred, Jade emerged from the ordeal, forever changed by the horrors she endured. Though she had survived the possession, she carried the weight of that dark chapter with her, a constant reminder of the evil that exists in the world. From that day forward, Jade dedicated her life to helping others plagued by supernatural forces, using her harrowing experience to bring light to the darkness. Her story serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes, the battle between good and evil can wage within us, and that even the purest of souls can fall victim to the clutches of demonic possession. The next one is an entry, as I heard from an old Japanese guy the first met in the 70s in a remote village in Japan. In the early 1940s, during the height of World War II, a group of brave samurai warriors found themselves stationed in a remote village in Japan. These warriors were known for their unwavering loyalty and unyielding dedication to their code of honor, even in the face of imminent danger. As the war raged on, the village became a strategic location for military operations. The samurai were tasked with defending the village from enemy forces, standing as the last line of defense against invasion. One fateful night, as the moon cast an eerie glow over the battlefield, a vicious battle ensued. The samurai fought valiantly, their swords slicing through the air with deadly precision. The clash of steel echoed through the night, mingling with the cries of the fallen. Despite their courage, the samurai were outnumbered and overpowered. One by one, they fell in battle, their spirits torn from their mortal bodies, forever trapped in the realm between the living and the dead. Since that haunting night, the spirits of the fallen samurai have roamed the village, seeking vengeance for their untimely demise. Their ghostly figures, clad in tattered armor, wander the streets silently, their presence sending chills down the spines of those who dare to cross their path. Locals and soldiers stationed in the village have reported eerie encounters with these spectral warriors. They speak of whispered voices in the wind, the sound of distant battles, and the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. Legend has it that these vengeful samurai possess an otherworldly strength, their spectral swords capable of slicing through solid objects. Some claim to have witnessed objects being moved or broken by an unseen force, as if the spirits were still fighting a battle that transcends the boundaries of the physical world. Though the villagers live in fear of these ghostly apparitions, some believe that the samurai spirits continue to protect the village, even in death. They are said to ward off any potential threats, their spectral presence serving as a reminder of the sacrifices made during a time of war. To this day, the spirits of these samurai warriors are said to roam the village, their presence a testament to the enduring power of loyalty, honor, and the lingering echoes of a bygone era. The tale of the haunted samurai serves as a chilling reminder that the spirits of the past can still influence the present, and that the bonds forged in life can transcend even the boundaries of death itself. As the sun set and darkness engulfed the village, I found myself drawn to the eerie stories surrounding the haunted samurai. With a mix of curiosity and trepidation, I decided to venture into the heart of the village, determined to experience the presence of these spectral warriors for myself. The night was unusually silent as I walked along the deserted streets. The air was heavy with anticipation, and a sense of unease settled upon me. Shadows danced in the moonlight, casting an ethereal glow upon the worn cobblestones. As I approached an old shrine, said to be a focal point for the samurai spirits, an icy breeze rustled the leaves of nearby trees, sending shivers down my spine. The shrine stood in solemn stillness, its ancient architecture bearing witness to the passage of time. With a deep breath, I stepped forward, the crunch of gravel beneath my feet echoing in the silence. The air grew thick, charged with an otherworldly energy. It felt as if unseen eyes were watching my every move. Suddenly, a flickering light caught my attention. I turned to see a faint glow emanating from the shrine's entrance. Heart pounding, I cautiously approached, drawn to the ethereal glow like a moth to a flame. As I peered into the shrine, a hushed whisper filled the air, mingling with the distant echoes of battle. The whispers grew louder, their words unintelligible yet hauntingly familiar. Shadows danced along the walls, taking on the form of armored figures. In that moment, I felt a presence, a weight upon my shoulders. I turned, and there they stood, the samurai spirits. Their ghostly forms were ethereal, yet their eyes burned with a fierce determination. One by one, they stepped forward, their spectral swords gleaming in the moonlight. Though their presence was chilling, I sensed no malice in their gaze. Instead, it was a solemn acknowledgement of their duty, their loyalty to protect the village even in death. As I stood there, surrounded by the spirits of the fallen warriors, a profound sense of awe washed over me. It was as if I could feel the weight of their sacrifice, the honor and unwavering loyalty that defined them in life. In that moment, I understood that these samurai ghosts were not mere apparitions to be feared, but guardians of a legacy,